The Turnitin training session organized by the Sampurna University Library in collaboration with CETL and the IT department. My name is Feoni from the Asia Library, and I also help manage Turnitin administration at Sampurna University. I'll be your host for this session. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today's session, we will explore how Turnitin can support teaching and assessment, particularly in maintaining academic integrity and helping students improve their writing. The session will be led by Mr. Muhammad David Long, the senior onboarding consultant from Turnitin. He'll take us through the presentation, demo, and Q&A session. Before we begin, please remember to fill out the evaluation form at the end of the session. It helps us improve and it also required for your certificate of attendance. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Muhammad David Long. Pak David, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Fioni. Let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen, Bu Fioni and everyone? Kelihatan
Yes,
ya?
Pak.
Okay. Do you mind if I turn off my video because I can see that there's a notification my internet connection is unstable? It's
That's
okay?
fine, Pak.
All right. Okay, let me turn off my video to reduce the bandwidth. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu semuanya. My name is Muhammad David Long, but yeah, please call me just David atau David ya in Indonesia. I'm honored to be your trainer for today's online session with Sampurna University. Today, we are going to explore how you, as an instructor, can effectively use Turnitin Feedback Studio, not just to detect the similarity, but also to support academic integrity and give meaningful feedback to your students, of course. Whether you are brand new to Turnitin or just looking to enhance your current workflow, I hope today's session gives you clear guidance, hands-on understanding, and helpful tips that you can apply right away in your teaching. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to an interactive and productive time with all of you. Let's get started. Now, before we dive into the best practice of Turnitin, I want to share a helpful link you might want to bookmark, turnitin.com/resources. This is our Turnitin Resources Hub, a great place to find extra support and inspiration. I think someone is, let me, okay. I think I need to make Bu Fioni as a co-host so that you can mute and Pak Gul. Okay, Bu Fioni, I already make you as a co-host, Bu Fioni and Pak Gul, right? If someone is suddenly turn on their or unmute their microphone, so please turn on. Okay, let's continue. This is our Turnitin Resources Hub, a great place to find extra support and inspiration as an educator, whether you're a lecturer or the teachers in the schools. You'll find ready-to-use lesson plans to help you teach about academic integrity. There are also global insight from other educators that might spark new ideas for your own teaching. And if you are into learning more about education and technology, there are plenty of articles that are resources written by experts at Turnitin Learning and in innovation teams about it. It's all free and easy to access, so feel free to explore it anytime you need fresh idea or you just want to learn something new. So this is the resource hub. All right. Let me mute. Okay. Bu Fioni nanti kalau mohon izin kalau ada yang ter-unmute tolong di-mute ya Bu.
Baik, Pak.
Khawatirnya ikut kerekam.
Baik, Pak.
Apalagi kalau ngomongin orang, wah bahaya. Okay, let's move on. So tips for today. Just a few quick tips before we dive into the content. First, today's session is being recorded. So no worries if you miss something or you need to jump out to other session. A follow-up email will be sent to Bufioni and Pak Guru, including with the recording and helpful resources. And you can check with them if you need access. Secondly, this session is really for you, so feel free to ask questions anytime, whether in English or Bahasa, or you just put in the chat box and when I pause for a moment to check in. And if anything comes up after the session, you can always reach out to us, to the Southeast Asia onboarding team through email celsia-onboarding@twitter.com. We're happy to support you. Okay, let's be honest. At some point, most of us, as an educator, most of us have asked ourselves for our students' work, is this really my students' own work? With the right tool, checking for originality can be, without the right tools, checking for the originality can be tough. Sure, you can do it manually like a long time ago. Back in 10 years ago, instructor copy and paste of the student writing into Google, scroll through results, try to spot anything suspicious, but it's time consuming and honestly not always reliable. And it doesn't stop there. You've probably found yourself leaving the same feedback again and again, then thinking, there has to be a faster way to do this and still give students something meaningful. I believe that all of you have already been using SpeedGrader, but I will show you some of the feedback and grading tools through Trinity Feedback Studio. So let's begin with the first question. How do we know if the work is really original? So to identify the original work, it comes to understanding how your student created their work. Training gives you access to 3 powerful features that make this process faster, clearer, and more reliable. First, many of you are probably already familiar with similarity detection. This show how much of student work matches existing sources from training database like internet database, journals, publication, and also student papers, global student repository in Trinity. It helps us quickly to see if the work is original or if parts of it have been copied from somewhere else. Next, AI writing detection. This will give you an indication of whether a student writing might have been generated using Gen AI like ChatGPT. Actually, it's designed to support your judgment, not to replace it. And lastly, there are integrity flags, or sometimes we call it document flags. Some students try to deceive the system, and of course, to deceive you as well by changing how the text look behind the scenes. This flag help you to spot those tricks, and then you can make justification. We'll go through all of these features today and see how they can support your teaching. So now let's talk about reading AI writing detection. It's actually one of the easiest features to understand. So it's a great place to begin before we move into more detail on understanding similarity report. So we are going to start with Trinity AI rating score first, because this is actually the simplest one to understand. The AI rating score is simply the percentage of students that this is likely have been written or generated by AI. It's from 0 to 100%. We know instantly 100% is not great, but is 0% correct answer, or what we should be looking for? And the answer to that, it depends on the expectation you set for your students about the task. So how Trinity AI detection rating works. So when you submit a paper to Trinity, the student submit a paper to the submission, to the assignment, it's split into small section, a few sentences each. These sections are checked one by one by our AI detection tool. For each sentence, the system gives a score from 0 to 1. 0 means looks human written. 1 score means looks fully AI written. So after scoring every sentence, Trinity averages the scores to estimate how much of the paper might be AI generated. So we have a false positive rate, incorrectly identifying fully human written text as AI generated, under 1% for document, with over 20% of AI writing. In other words, we might flag a human written document as AI written for 1 out of every 100 fully human written documents. Sometimes Turnitin might say a sentence look like AI written, but it's actually written by human. This is what we call false positive. But we ensure that the rate of the false positives is below than 1%. Why can this happen? Because AI writing detection looks for certain patterns in the text, like word choice, sentence structure, and rhythm. That also found in the very formal or predictable human writing, right? For example, if someone writes in a very structured academic style, the system might think it's an AI generated. That's why AI score is trading is a in trading are not a final proof. They're a signal for you to investigate further. We recommend reading the paper in the context, talking to the author or your students, and using your own judgment before making any decision. In short, this AI writing detection tool give clues, not verdicts. So how do we set a score? So if you do not allow your student to use AI in writing, then the only acceptable score is 0%. That's pretty easy. I trained one of international school back in 2 months ago, and it's the junior high school, and they said, David, in our schools, student cannot use AI at all because it's junior high school, so the students need to present the original idea. And then if they want to use someone else's work or someone else's ideas or resources, they need to put a citation and need to put the right way that we teach them. So that's pretty easy. So it means 0% is the acceptable score if we don't accept any AI generated tool. But if you do allow your student to use AI, then perhaps there is some level of AI that is accepted. And in fact, if you expect your student to use AI, then perhaps 0% is not something you will be allowing. You're warning them to include AI to meet your expectation for the task. So when you expect students to use AI in the world, there are 2 or 3 things that I want you to consider as being really important. First of all, check that AI generated writing is present on the section of student work in which you allow it to be used. For example, I remember that one university said, "Oh, Pak David, in our university, student can use generative AI for the introduction, for example." Yes, something like that. Or in the process to design the proposal, something like that. Okay. But this depends on each of institution because each institution have their own regulation or policy. The second point is be clear with your student on how they should cite or acknowledge the use of AI generated text in their work. Some university, we have a template page part of it, so the student need to use this template to declare that they have been using AI generated text, and they need to declare in this template page, something like that. And the third one is my best tip practice. Make sure you set clear expectation with your student about how AI can or cannot be used. We need to set the rule so that the student know what they need to abide by. So it's pretty simple, right, for the AI. Ya, sayangnya saya baru melihat sejauh ini, correct me if I'm wrong, Universitas Indonesia yang baru publish their own policy untuk etika dan panduan penggunaan generative AI untuk lingkungan sivitas mereka. Mudah-mudahan Sampurna University juga punya ya satu set aturan yang diturunkan dari panduan penggunaan Gen AI yang dikeluarkan oleh Kementerian Pendidikan tahun lalu ya, Oktober kalau nggak salah saya. Alright, okay, so basically it helps us to spot if any part of student work might have been written using AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, dan kawan-kawan ya. It gives us a helpful signal, not a decision, but something that can guide our judgment. Jadi ini bukan untuk gantiin Bapak Ibu tentunya. Of course, we still need to consider the context, like the type of assignment and what actually asks the student to do. A high AI score doesn't always mean something's wrong, and low score doesn't always mean everything's fine either. But if something feels a bit off, this can be a helpful starting point to have a conversation, even it will be a difficult conversation with student, guided by your institution academic integrity policy. So please check your academic integrity policy in your institution. Next, kita ke understanding trade and similarity approach. I think this is the repetition for you. This is probably the feature most of us are already familiar with. But in this session, I want to show you how to make better sense of the report, not just rely on the percentage. Let's go over what it really means and how it can help support academic integrity. Most questions coming from university said, Pak David, ada hubungan nggak antara similarity report dengan AI written report? So there is no connection, there's no relation between the AI writing report dengan similarity report ya. Tidak ada hubungan sama sekali, karena cara kerjanya beda. Mari kita lihat. So what exactly the similarity score when similarity report produces the score? It's the percentage you see in the report that tells you how much of students' work matches content from other sources. Yeah, like student papers, internet pages, kemudian juga published works ya. But remember, it doesn't mean plagiarism. Banyak masih ada beberapa university, kampus di kita yang begitu lihat skor langsung vonis ya, langsung wah ini plagiat ya. Actually, it just show matched text ya. So Trinity check the submission against your database ya, 2.4 billion student papers, billion of web pages, juga million ya published articles ya, journals dan publication. That's how it finds any matching text and give us that score. So we look closer at this in the next slide. Jadi ini quick tipsnya to keep in mind, think about the style or genre or of the assignment. Does this kind of work expect your students to use and cite the words and ideas of others? Understanding this helps you interpret the symmetry score more fairly and accurately. Let's put into practice with a quick activity. Think about the genre in the task. Contohnya, if you ask your student for personal reflection on family reading habits assignment, contohnya. So here's the question. What kind of similarity score will you expect to see for this type of assignment? High or low, and why? Because you expect this is the personal reflection based on family reading habits, like, oh, di keluarga saya, kebiasaan membaca terpengaruh dengan budaya Jawa. Dan di keluarga yang lain mungkin terpengaruh dengan budaya Inggris ya, British atau American macam-macam ya. So when you look at the similarity report for this kind of task, a high similarity score might be a red flag. So a low similarity score is usually what you want to see. So since you expect your students are focused on their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences related to their family reading habit. But here's something important to keep in mind. Sometimes even when students write in their own words, ya, walaupun pakai kata-kata sendiri nih, ya, original words, ya, the similarity score can still be a bit higher than expected. Kenapa? Because they might be using common phrases, well-known facts, data, or familiar terms that tend to get flagged in the report. So don't be surprised if you don't see 0% score anymore. These little things can add up ya. Misalnya menggunakan common facts yang seperti the capital city of Indonesia is Jakarta. Ibu kota negara Republik Indonesia di Jakarta. Lalu di highlight sebagai similarity, instantly kita tahu, ini bukan plagiat, ini adalah common phrases atau common fact yang dari ujung Sabang sampai Merauke semua tahu. Oke, jadi kita untuk yang jenis seperti ini ekspektasi kita rendah. Atau misalnya kita memberikan tugas like so please creating a poetry, puisi ya, bikin puisi. Kan nggak mungkin di puisi itu ada references, daftar pustaka, ada someone else ideas in there, menurut Khairul kan nggak mungkin. So sekali lagi based on the genre and the task, yes, based on your expectation as well. Now let's try another example. This time, tugasnya, assignmentnya laboratory report, presenting the result on inside of experiment. So what do you think? Should we expect a high or low similarity score in this kind of report? Gimana Bapak Ibu? Kira-kira kalau laboratory report, kira-kira similarity-nya kita expect lebih tinggi apa lebih rendah? Ada yang mau unmute? Bapak Ibu, dengar ya suara saya? Can you still hear my my voice?
Ya, masih terdengar.
Oh, oke, masih ya.
Iya.
Kira-kira kalau jenisnya seperti ini, similarity score-nya kita expect jadi lebih tinggi atau rendah? Kalau genre atau jenis penulis tugasnya adalah laboratory report, laporan laboratorium misalnya. Bapak Ibu, ada yang mau volunteer? Nggak ada? Oke, nggak apa-apa. In this kind of assignment, it's normal to see some matching text, especially with scientific terms. Wah, istilah-istilah scientific ya, standard procedure, method, materials, macam-macam ya, teori, rumus, formula, or common phrases ya, common phrases dalam satu bidang keilmuan. Dalam bidang kedokteran pada beda. Academic flashbang kami itu ada tuh dalam bidang kedokteran. Oh, bidang hukum beda lagi. Seperti itu ya. So a higher similarity score here doesn't always mean plagiarism. It often reflects the nature of the genre and how students write lab reports. Remember, understanding the task help you interpret this meta score more accurately. Jadi nggak hanya, lihat skor, ini plagiat. Nggak seperti itu ya. Nah, jadi kita bisa expect, wah, bisa tinggi. Oh iya, karena ini student saya, begitu saya baca, teorinya terlalu panjang, rumus-rumusnya digunakan terlalu banyak, padahal banyak rumus-rumus yang harusnya nggak dipakai. Nah, ini nggak relevan. Jadi ini saya akan kasih feedback buat studentnya untuk ini rumusnya dihilangkan aja. Ini metode-metodenya nggak tepat. Ini akan menambah similarity. So that's the feedback. So the teachable moment between you as an educator to your student. Okay, so main concept behind this slide, once you have established a suitable range, educators need to ensure that all similarity matches within this range are cited and quoted. Yeah, what we need to make sure with the similarity matches is it just a common fact, common phrases, or the student is just borrowing ideas? Then those ideas need to be cited. So it's important to understand this similarity score is not the plagiarism score. So that's the strong message from Trinidad ya. Karena banyak ya di berbagai institusi, saya yakin di SU enggak ya, cuma sekedar reminding aja. Alright, now that we've talked about the overall similarity score and how context matters, let's take a closer look at an individual similarity match, because that's where the real insight comes in. This example helps us to understand how to interpret those matches fairly. Whether your institution use Trinity Feedback Studio or another version of our product, the key idea stay the same. It's not just what is matched, but how it used. Jadi ini bukan hanya berapa banyak kemiripannya, tapi bagaimana kemiripan itu tampil. Let's walk through this for example. The first one, you can see this is done right. The quote is clearly marked with quotation mark and it has a proper citation. That's what we want to see, right? Ini udah benar Pak David. Justru yang kami ajarkan pada student kami, kalau pinjam punya orang dari sumber lain, pastikan salah satu tekniknya diajarkan oleh dosen dari semester 1 mungkin ya, kutipan langsung, lalu jangan lupa citasi, put this proper citation. Oke, ini bagus. Ini nanti aturan main kami di SU Pak David, kami bisa exclude sepanjang semua kutipan langsungnya sudah memenuhi kriteria dan juga sudah dilengkapi dengan citasi. Okay, it's depend on your regulation and policy. The second one has a quotation mark, but where is the citation? Nggak ada citationnya. So we know it's a quote, but we don't know where it came from. That's something to fix. So as an instructor, you may ask the student, you clearly quote this, but can you show me where the original story is from? Let's say the B student's name Budi, misalnya B, Budi ya. Budi, mana nih citasinya? Oh, oke, kan udah diajarin kalau misalnya kita punya orang nggak hanya cukup dengan letakkan tanda kutip tapi citasi. Oke. Nah, contoh ketiga juga ditandai sebagai similarity. This is the opposite problem, where there's the citation, ada citasinya, but no quotation mark. So now it's unclear. Did they copy the text exactly, or did they paraphrase it? We need to ask for citation. Atau jangan-jangan studentnya sebenarnya tadinya mau kasih tanda kutip ya, cuman karena mungkin bikin tugasnya last minute, katakanlah SKS ya, sistem kebut semalam, lalu lupa proofreading, nggak sempat proofreading ya, mana sempat, karena misalnya tugasnya dikasih timelinenya a week ya, deadline-nya 1 minggu, lalu dia kerjakan semalam sebelum due date ya. Oh, mana sempat untuk proofreading, mana sempat untuk lihat mana yang kurang ya, seperti itu. Itu sering-sering terjadi pada penulis pemula lah, student. That's why we need to provide a feedback ya, because feedback is a breakfast for champion. So the last example has neither a citation or nor quotation mark. This one looks like a direct copying, and it's something we want to discuss seriously with student. Okay, David, please see me after the class. Ayo ketemu ibu setelah kelas ya. Ada yang mau kita diskusikan. David, kamu di kelas ini semua teman kamu udah melakukan ini, tapi kamu masih saja seperti ini. What's your problem? Kamu butuh apa dari saya? Oh, saya butuh nggak ngerti. Oke, saya kirim ke perpustakaan. Ada coaching klinik kan biasanya kampus-kampus punya ya coaching klinik untuk perpustakaannya seperti itu. Oke, jadi bisa kita lihat sini 4 cara yang digunakan oleh penulis, katakanlah student sini. Keempat-empatnya dinyatakan sebagai similarity, maka di sini Bapak Ibu based on your expertise, based on your experience, dan tentunya pemeriksaan orang yang paham kaidah penulisnya, dia tahu ini similarity ini sah. Ini similarity ini harus dikasih feedback ini, harus disuruh revisi ya, edit ya. Nanti baru resubmit lagi, nanti kita cek lagi. Oh oke, kalau udah oke baru oke saya kasih grading deh. Seperti itu. Alright, saya mau berhenti dulu. Saya mau cek di kolom chat ada pertanyaan nggak? Oke, nggak ada pertanyaan. Bapak Ibu ada yang mau ditanyakan? Kita continue. Oke, kita lanjut dulu. Now let's move on to the second question. How can we give meaningful and timely feedback, Pak David, to our student assignment based on the report? Because we have 3 dharma, Pak David. Karena kami sibuk nih, ada bikin jurnal, pengabdian masyarakat, macam-macam. So we keep it simple and practical, just enough to help you support your students without adding extra to your plate, right? So, all right, let's talk about one of my favorite times ever in training, Quick Mark. Ini tool favorit saya. Kalau saya seandainya saya berandai jadi dosen atau guru, ini bakal jadi tool favorit saya. Tapi it depends on your Canvas ya. Kadang-kadang Canvas kan punya fitur-fitur ya untuk grading yang mungkin Bapak Ibu lebih biasa, silakan. Tapi kalau Bapak Ibu tertarik, if you interested to use this, so you can use it. Quick marks are basically Turnitin's built-in comment bank. You can reuse feedback you've already written, so it's perfect for giving faster and more consistent responses to your students. You're still in control. You can customize or personalize the comment to suit each student, but you don't have to start from scratch every time. Ini bisa di reuse ya. It's simple juga to give clear actionable feedback without spending hours making. Ya, jadi ini nanti kita lihat ya seperti apa. Oke, ini summary before I show you the demo. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. Turnitin helps detect similarity by comparing student work, student papers, student articles to a lot of database sources. But you are the one who decides if proper credit is given or not. Jadi Bapak Ibu ya yang tentuin, bukan alat ini yang menggantikan. Similarity score are not one size fits all. They depend on the type of assignment. Different tasks will have different expected scores. So it's important to set clear rules with your students ahead of time about using AI tools and quoted materials. That way everyone knows what's okay and what's not. Ya, sekali lagi ini regulasi ya. Mudah-mudahan sudah established ya, sudah disosialisasikan buat student juga. If you think there might be a problem, ya, look at all information. AI writing reports, similarity score-nya, kemudian kita lihat writing style-nya, David ini perasaan nggak kayak gini deh, tiba-tiba kok kemampuan menulis itu seperti postgraduate candidate ya. Wah, kandidat doktoral nih gaya penulisannya. Kan kita bisa ya. And dan juga pastinya uh, kita harus lihat institution policies ya before making any decision. So that's a quick overview. I encourage you to take a photo or screenshot of this slide so you can keep these 4 points handy. So I'll give you probably 3 seconds. Okay, hopefully that already taken the photos. Okay, let's put into practice. Let me slide my screen to. Okay, this is your Canvas environment. Saya yakin Bapak Ibu lebih familiar ya. Saya diberikan dummy account oleh Pak Guru dan Bu Fioni. Makasih. Terus saya sudah coba-coba di sini ya. Sudah saya coba-coba buat ya. So I believe most of you or few of you already try to use it, and let me try to use it. So apologize kalau seandainya saya agak kaku-kaku ya di sini ya, karena beda canvas, usually biasanya bisa beda. Kalau pakai canvasnya Turnitin, saya lebih lancar ya. Tapi sebenarnya prinsipnya sama sih. Oke. Saya yakin Bapak Ibu udah tahu berada di dalam course, lalu kita berada di assignment, dan kalau Bapak Ibu sudah di-set nanti sebagai, sudah diizinkan ya untuk bisa align dengan Turnitin. So Bapak Ibu geser pandangan ke pojok kanan atas, di situ ada assignments ya, at the upper right corner. So we can click the 3 dots, so just simply see the trading menu, and then click it. Terus kita tunggu beberapa detik ya, nggak terlalu lama. Memang agak it takes time. Oke, hampir. Ini kayaknya karena koneksi saya, jadi mohon maaf ya Bapak Ibu. Oke, nah ini this is the new standard assignment. So kalau dulu Bapak Ibu pakai yang classic standard assignment, nah tampilannya beda. Tampilan sekarang lebih modern dan ini memang based on instructor feedback around the world, termasuk di Indonesia. Harus begini, harus lebih modern, harus lebih mudah, harus lebih ini ya, lebih komprehensif. Tadi Bu Desi juga sempat bilang ya, berdasarkan eksplorasi beliau. So yang membedakan sekarang, Bapak Ibu lihat, there's 3 tabs here: assignment details, rubrics, and report settings. So we cover all of this. It's office, okay. Yang pertama tentu title ya. Nah, assignment-nya mau dikasih judul apa? Misalnya assignment number 1, for example. Terserah ya Bapak Ibu nanti mau kasih nama apa. Instruction-nya apa? Misalnya Bapak Ibu minimal 500 kata, berapa ya. Ini 500 words misalnya. Ya. Lain-lain ya, silahkan katakan sini. Kalau ada template yang nanti secara automatically kalau kita masukkan ke sini dan akan mengexclude semua similarity yang sesuai dengan template ini, so silakan ya digunakan. Tapi kalau enggak ya nggak apa-apa. So we go to the right side, so you can see the shadowing, start date. You can set the start date. You can set the time as well. Due date, for example, it's too long. I want the due date will be in 15th of October, paling. Okay. And then the feedback release. Okay, I will give them feedback. I will give them time to see my feedback a day after the due date, for example, because it's a simple task, a simple assignment. Grading and feedback. So there's max points is similar with before. Mau kasih berapa? Misalnya, ini saya skalanya 0 sampai 10. 0 sampai 20 or 0 to 25. Bebas ya, saya letakkan 100 ini. So you want to use to animals grading. So if you want to hide students details for animals grading, so simply check this. Tapi di Indonesia rata-rata kampus bilang, oh nggak mungkin pada Fit, di halaman pertama itu udah ada nama, detail-detailsnya, jadi percuma juga ya. Jadi terserah ya, it depends on you. Atas rubrik nanti kita akan bahas di tab rubrik saja. Kita lanjut lagi. Submission settings. So, do you want to allow late submission? Oh yeah, Pak David, I want to allow the late submission. So, nanti student dengan late submission will be indicated dengan red color in their submission date and time. Merah warnanya nanti ya. Lalu dia tetap bisa submit setelah tanggal due date ya, kalau kita izinkan. Allow resubmission, kalau seandainya kita nggak cek, ya cuman satu kali saja submit, dianggap final submission ya. Tapi kalau ini tugas ini akan ada revisi yang saya minta, feedback yang akan saya provide, so you may need to allow resubmission until the due date. We don't recommend you to allow unsupported file types, so unless you, nanti semua jenis file bisa disubmit ya. Maksud saya video, audio itu kan nggak bakal dicek against billion of database of Trinity ya. Jadi nggak ya. Jadi kita nggak cek, kita nggak recommend. Oke, itu assignment details. Rubric. Oh, sebelum saya lanjut, Bapak Ibu, saya mau tanya, Bapak Ibu di sini terbiasa pakai rubrik nggak? Karena biasanya, ini saya mohon izin, di Indonesia, saya tahu saya banyak kampus hampir tidak ada yang menggunakan rubrik. Kalau Bapak Ibu ada, Pak David, kami prefer pakai yang ada rubrik kami yang ada di Canvas, oke. Tapi kalau, saya tertarik, pengen tahu, saya akan terangin, kalau nggak, saya nggak terangin. Bagaimana Bapak Ibu?
Pak David,
Yes, Bu Desi.
at Sampurna University, we expect all lectures always attach rubric in every assignment.
Oh, every assignment. Oh, oke. Alright, oke. Kalau gitu kita cover ya di rubric. Oke, thank you Bu Desi. This is the rubric. You can attach rubric for the assignment. This is, I will show you the trade rubrics. If those rubrics match one of your expectation, you can choose and select the rubric. For example, ini kebanyakan untuk K-12 ya. Kayaknya nggak ada ya buat university level ya. Ya ini rata-rata sih buat ini ya, buat ini. Tapi kalau if you want to create rubric, just simply click create rubric here. Terus kalau mau create misalnya kita, we already have the rubric template pada kita. Okay, you can import the rubric. Klik next. Atau Bapak Ibu, you can download rubric template supaya mengikuti requirement di sini. Ada requirement di sini ya. Bapak Ibu bisa baca di sini requirement-nya. You can see it, requirement. Download. Atau saya akan coba ambil ya contoh satu rubrik yang udah saya siapin. Ini deh. Katakanlah Bapak Ibu you already created your own rubric based on the rubric template from Trinidad. Lalu kita klik next. Ini rubrik yang sudah kita siapin ya di sini. Udah oke, kalau ada yang mau diedit atau dihapus silakan, and then just click create. So, sekarang kita punya ya argumentative rubric ya, environmental sciences. Ada dua ya, ini sudah saya pernah submit ya seperti itu. Kalau kita mau hapus, remove, atau kita, ini nggak jadi sebagai our rubric, atau kita mau remove startnya juga bisa. Oke, itu tadi how to import or create rubric. Ya. Instance rubric kalau misalnya nanti ada bisa ya dilihat sini ya untuk learn how to create rubric. Okay. Katakanlah, let's say that I choose this rubric. Okay, the new rubric that I just uploaded. Okay, so that's it. That's a rubric, and then we continue to the last step for the create assignment report setting. So please ensure that you don't hit the create assignment button in the bottom corner, the right corner, because you need to define the report setting. Because if you click it without changing or without define the store submission comparison, the default setting will be general to the repository. It means any papers, any article from student is submitted, it will be matched against our database, and also at the center it will be stored as a database. So that articles will be used as a sebagai comparison ya for the next submission yang ada kemiripan. So if you don't benefit for this time, I don't want to put this article into Trinidad database. Just I want to see the articles from student to be checked against Trinidad database, not to put or index in Trinidad database. So pilih do not store the submitted papers. Kalau bahasa dulunya itu no repository ya. Kalau sekarang bahasanya do not store. Kalau di CPF, Kansas CPF masih no repository ya, tapi kalau di LTI atau di website trinidad.com bagi institusi yang langsung dia di sini sudah do not store bahasanya. Kita geser ke kanan, so compare submission, so at least you choose one source to be matched against. Misalnya, for this particular assignment, Pak David, I just want to compare against the journals, for example. I don't want to compare against the internet database or general Trinian repository, something like that. So at least you choose one. Generate report. So we recommend a time of submission unless you think, I just want to see, and student can see the similar report on due date, David. So not immediately. So you just choose between, depends on your requirements. So report access on the right side, you can see do you want to allow your student to view symmetry reports or not? Most of the time, we recommend you to allow students to view symmetry reports. Karena di Indonesia banyak sekali, kalau nggak dibiasakan student itu melihat pada fit, nanti mereka panik, mereka takut kalau ngelihat skor itu kayak ngelihat apa. Mereka harus dibiasakan bahwa similarity score bukanlah plagiarism score. Seperti itu ya, jadi banyak kampus yang mengizinkannya. And the last part of the report setting ada exclusion. Kita bisa exclude bibliografi di sini untuk keseluruhan assignment ini ya. Exclude quoted materials, exclude small matches, but we don't recommend something like this in this assignment settings. We recommend you to do the exclusion for each of the articles, each of the papers. Kalau udah oke, kita cek lagi, ada masalah atau tidak, and then we just create assignment. Oke, sekarang kita sudah punya assignment 1. So let's say you announce to your student, saya sudah bikin ya assignment 1, and bagi siapa yang udah selesai, silakan submit. Saya mau geser lagi ke student ya. Oh, tunggu, saya publish dulu. Saya lupa nih, kemarin saya diingetin nama Bu Fion ini. Saya publish dulu ya. Oke. Ini adalah tampilan student. Ya, ini dia assignment 1. So, ini adalah tampilan student Bapak Ibu. Mungkin Bapak Ibu udah familiar banget di sini ya. So, students just go to their assignment 1. Kemudian nanti they can see the instruction, they can see the settings for this particular assignment. Assignment 1, start date, due date, feedback list kapan, terus ada rubrik, points-nya ada berapa, instruction di sini ya. Ada template atau tidak, boleh late submission, bisa resubmission atau tidak, ya seperti itu. Dan lalu students can see their file requirements. So they can do drag and drop to upload their paper to articles or just browse files. Saya contohin aja. Oh ini deh, simple aja ya. Oke. Saya upload dan review. That's to wait a bit. Bapak Ibu kalau ada pertanyaan, nggak usah sungkan ya sambil nunggu ini atau letakkan di kolom chat ya. And then submit. And then student can see the notification for the file is processing, the file was successfully uploaded, and they can see in the similarity is still in the process. So student can wait or just refresh the browser. So yeah, sometimes they can see the similarity report immediately based on the stability of the internet connection and also based on the size of the file juga, atau jangan-jangan ada gangguan di Turnitin server ya seperti itu. Nah, kita lihat ya similarity-nya 45%. So we can see this is the dashboard for students. The title, submit date and time, gradingnya, similarity column, feedback column, dan juga di sini ada more to view submission, copy, or download receipt. Atau dia mau resubmit di sini ada di bawah sebelah kiri ya, karena kita allow resubmission allow ya di sini ya, ada di sini. Kalau enggak nanti nggak akan ada muncul di situ. Oke, sekarang saya kembali ke instructor. Lalu katakanlah Bapak Ibu sore-sore, I just finished my class and I want to check are there any students who already submitted their articles or not. Kita bisa lihat di sini. Sebentar. Oke. Jadi kita lihat di sini. Oh, student SU sudah submit. Test student mana nih? Test student. So mungkin kita WhatsApp test student. Where is your task? Where is your assignment? Oh, sorry, teacher. Bu dosen, Pak dosen. Saya coba submit tapi gagal. Oke, kasih saya soft copy-nya. I can submit on behalf of you. Jadi, you as an instructor can submit on behalf of your students. Caranya di sebelah kanan, you can see the more column. So you can click the 3 dots and then just hit the submit file. Or you just want to grant extension. Test students, because this is the due date, sudah pass. So saya kasih kamu 2 hari extension. Saya kasih kamu 2 hari. Jadi kita bisa grant extensionnya for this particular student. Ya, jadi kita bisa ini ya, berikan waktu lebih lagi untuk test students. So katakanlah students is already send us the original file. So we want to submit on behalf of those test students. So just click submit and then submit on behalf of test student. Then browse the file. Let me check. Oh, ini aja. Oke, ya saya mau ambil ini aja. Oke. Katakanlah ini ya, upload and review. So ideally, of course, your student the one who should submit their articles. But if they face any problem or if there is a trust issue, I don't trust you, David. So because you doctor your previous assignment, your last assignment. So just send to me your original paper and I'll submit it for you. And I check before submit it. So to give semacam ini ya, pressure ya studentnya ya. So we can see in here you can expect a student to submit it, or you as an instructor can submit on behalf of your student. So that's how you can create the assignment and then do this and then prepare the settings of the assignments based on your expectation, based on your grade and something like that. Oke. Ya, dan setelah kita submit di sini untuk instructor itu tentunya tampilannya ada lebih banyak ya. As you can see, let's say, I set the assignments to global repository. Index all of the papers you can submit to this assignment one will be indexed in Trinity database, will be stored in Trinity database. Now it's finished. I want to delete it, Pak David. Okay, if you want to delete articles that you already index or store in our database, just simply click the 3 dots and request the deletion. And just please see the reason or other, just click other, and then check this and request the permanent deletion, and then the request will be sent to the administrator account. So Buffioni will approve it or reject it. Yeah, I think it's better for you to Buffioni. I just request 3 articles to be removed from database because I set the assignment setting to be stored in database. Ya. Jadi bisa ya Bapak Ibu, kalau saya masuk database jangan panik, bisa request ya ke administrator. So it's between the instructor and the administrator, so no need to go to Trinity support. Oke, ya bisa juga disubmit ya, ada di sini. Oke. Let me go back to the demo paper that I already prepared. Ini ya saya sudah prepare ini. Kita bahas di sini. Okay, let's say we have 2 students in this assignment, and both of them already submitted their articles, and now it's time for us to check articles. So I believe that you can spot there are more columns for instructor, because in the instructor we can see AI rating columns. And then you can see the flag column as well. Okay, the flags for text manipulation. So they're writing. So when you see something like this, report cannot be generated. So it means ini nggak sesuai dengan requirement misalnya. Karena AI rating detection 20 only can be used for English articles, Spanish dan juga Japanese ya. Jadi kalau bahasa Inggris, Spanyol, Jepang bisa. Tapi selain itu belum ya, kayaknya yang menyusul bahasa Arab, bahasa Indonesia nggak tahu kapan, karena perlahan-lahan ya. Jadi kalau bahasa Inggris nanti dia akan muncul. Kalau misalnya nggak ada AI score ya nanti dia 0% sini ya. Tapi kalau false positif ya 1-9% dia ada bintang ya, ada star di situ ya. Untuk menandakan ini skor 1-9% adalah false positif. Oke, sekarang kita coba lihat di sini ya. Yang ini Bapak Ibu bisa klik similarity. If you click similarity, so the tab will be the new tab will be open and it will direct you to the similarity. Okay, let me click this. Nah, dan kita tunggu untuk similarity report-nya will be open. Oke, ini adalah tampilan new similarity report, khususnya untuk new standard assignment. Kalau institusi kampus yang pakai OC, originally check, they can only see similarity tab here, AI rating tabs, or flex tabs ya. Tapi kalau untuk Feedback Studio yang ada fitur grading dan feedback, Bapak Ibu bisa lihat ada another tabs ya untuk feedbacks dan untuk rubrics. Dan kita bisa lihat di sebelah kanan, Ibu bisa lihat di sebelah kanan adalah bagian panel untuk match group dan sources. So for English articles, so it will be present in the similarity based on sources berdasarkan sumber-sumber atau berdasarkan match group. So ini inovasi Turnitin untuk artikel berbahasa Inggris, sayangnya belum untuk bahasa Indonesia. Jadi kalau bahasa Indonesia, saya buka dari sini aja deh, sebentar ya, saya tunjukin ya. Ya Bapak Ibu bisa dapat gambaran kalau untuk bahasa Indonesia itu dia hanya tab di sebelah kanannya, maksudnya di panel sebelah kanan hanya based on sources, jadi nggak ada match groupnya ya. Saya tunjukin, sebentar. Mana ya? Ini, oke, saya mau tunjukin. Jadi supaya Bapak Ibu di Sampurna University ada artikel satu tugas dalam bahasa Indonesia, Bu Fioni, Bapak Ibu semuanya? Ada ya?
Ada
Ada nggak?
beberapa
Ada ya?
tugas, Pak.
Oh,
Ya.
oke, baik. Saya akan tunjukin, kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia, as you can see, the right panel will be only for based on sources. Jadi 67% dari mana datangnya? Oh, 7% dari Fakultinfo, 6% ditambah sekian persen, tambah sekian persen, muncullah angka 67%. Hanya that's it ya, seperti itu. Tapi kalau untuk in English articles, di sini ada match group yang inovasi ini ditunggu-tunggu untuk pengguna bahasa Indonesia dikit, harusnya ada ini, jadi kami mudah pada fit. Oke, Bapak Ibu lihat di sini, match group. Kalau Bapak Ibu ingat tadi slide tadi yang kita menunjukkan interpretasi similarity report based on color ya, jadi warnanya. Nah ini ada 4 grup ya dengan 4 warna berbeda. Of course, we expect all of these similarity on the green color ya. Ya already being cited and quoted. Jika kalau dia minjem dari sumber lain. Nah, kita tunjukin sini ya. Contohnya ini, kita klik. Lalu kita lihat ini source-nya dari velo.outsideonline.com. Oh ya, 2%. Lalu kita klik. Ini akan langsung bawa kita ke exactly di mana paragraf tersebut. So as you can see, this is izin Bapak Ibu, ini adalah my demo article. So pasti ada subheading ya, saya letakkan supaya untuk memudahkan untuk menerangkannya. So as you can see, this is citation. Wang 2022, lalu ada quoted di situ, my 1993 RB, this one is built using Iswata, bla 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 bla. Oh, udah ada quotation materials, udah ada citasi nih. Oh, tadi dulu, ini benar nggak Eric Wang? Lalu kita buka source-nya. Kalau source-nya masih tersedia, dia akan tampilkan sumber ya, source dari artikel mana nih? Ya, seperti itu kita bisa lihat dari sini ya. Oh ya, dari Eric Wang tahun 2002. Kebetulan Eric Wang ini senior dari AI departmentnya Trinity ya, kebetulan sukanya sepeda. Saya juga suka sepeda ya. Alright. Lalu kita geser lagi ke sini. Kalau kita lihat warna kuning, ini yellow color, it mean missing citation. There are 2 parts of the similarities missing citation group, and dengan total score di sini 4%. Kita lihat dulu ya. Oke, kita klik di sini. So, kita akan dibawa ke bagian di mana di sini sudah ada, is already being included with quotation mark, but there is the citation. Ini harusnya kemana? Kita klik source-nya, kita bisa lihat, harusnya student saya ini, dia citasi Simonovic, ya, 2018. Bisa seperti itu. Okay. So that's the way how we interpret this symmetry report. Tapi sebelum kita lanjutkan, pada Fit ini ada beberapa feature di sini. Similarity, AI, and flex. Which ones we should, being recommend to go first. So we recommend you to go to the flex feature first. So in here, kita bisa lihat ya, we check the flag feature first and ensure that there is no text manipulation happen there. If there is indication 1 or 2, 1 means one type of the text manipulation alert. 2, ya ini ada 2 ya, ini sempurna karena 2 jenis. So the first one is hidden text. When I click it, and then it redirect us to the hidden text paragraph or part. As you can see, di sini saya copy paste. Nah, jadi kalau kita klik learn more di sini, sebenarnya misalnya ini biasa terjadi pada student yang nggak mungkin level dosennya. Student, if I just simply copy and paste, so Turnitin will spot it and my instructor will spot it. So jadi dia coba, ketemu di TikTok. Ditambahin huruf-huruf, angka-angka atau tanda baca, lalu putihkan warnanya, white text ya, atau white on white ya, seperti itu ya. Background artikelnya akan white ya, seperti itu. Nanti kita bisa lihat di sini, 32 suspect characters on one page. Jadi kalau 10 page nanti akan kita klik, jadi akan masuk ya. So it's definitely, ini jelas, ini text manipulation. So what should you do as an instructor? Stop the checking, stop the process of the examining. Ini pemeriksaannya. Lalu Bapak Ibu just rujuk your policy, your institution policy. Gimana nih harusnya? Kalau begini Pak David, kami akan beri pada komisi etik, ya, komisi aktivitas akademik. Lalu the second one is replace character. Di sini kalau kita klik learn more sini, biasanya di change from Latin font into Cyrillic atau Greek ya. Di sini saya ganti, I change to Cyrillic ya, 43 karakter ya. Ya, bentuknya sama ya, tampilannya sama tapi fontnya beda sehingga dia merubah pengucapan dan makna kata-kata ya, verb di situ, kata-kata seperti itu. So, kalau kita yakinkan ini, oke, ini juga manipulasi, so stop your checking. Then after you ensure the flag features and there is no that you worry about, nggak ada yang kita khawatirkan lagi, so then we recommend you to continue to AI writing. Bapak Ibu, tadi saya tunjukin sini ya, di sini ada ada subheading ya, missing citation, berarti kurang citasi, ini kurang kutipan langsung dan lain-lain ya, saya berikan. Nah, di sini paragraf akhir ini, beberapa paragraf akhir ini saya gabungkan antara pemikiran saya sendiri dengan generated from ChatGPT, dan juga sesuatu yang saya ambil dari sebuah Gen AI, lalu saya AI paraphrase dengan AI paraphrasing tool lah. Bapak Ibu tahu ya, macam-macam ya. AI paraphrasing tool macam-macam, ada Quillbot, ada kawan-kawan. So how AI writing Turnitin react this? So just simply click this. Oke. Nah, di sini kelihatan AI writing score, dia akan menilai ya, kalimat-kalimat itu dinilai apakah itu kalimat manusia atau kalimat yang dibuat oleh Gen AI. Nah, Bapak Ibu lihat di sini ada 2 warna di-identify di sini. Yang warna biru, sian di sini ya, ini AI generated only, likely AI generated text from a large language model, LLM ya, apapun ya yang pakai LLM, yang Gemini, ChatGPT dan kawan-kawan ya, seterusnya. Tapi kalau dalam bentuk purple color di sini berarti AI generated text that was AI paraphrase. Misalnya, kalau saya dari ChatGPT aja nih ketahuan nih. Sekarang saya mau pindahkan ke Quillbot atau ke AI bypasser. Nah, jadi nggak hanya AI paraphrasing tool, tapi juga AI bypasser, AI humanizer ya. Nah, ini yang terbaru ya, diupdate oleh Turnitin sekitar 2 bulan lalu. So we can detect the AI bypasser as well. So di sini Bapak Ibu tentukan, ini sesuai ekspektasi kami. Oke, kita bisa go on. Tapi ini enggak. Kita bolehkan you allow our student to use Gen AI in the first section atau in the introduction only, but not in the kesimpulan seperti itu. Kita bisa lihat sini ya. Nah, ini dari ini ya. Saya yang bikin sendiri ya, Bapak Ibu ya. Makanya saya kasih mix di sini ya. Sedikit nada mix. Oke, kalau saat ini sudah memenuhi syarat, maka baru kita lanjut ke semiotik. Jadi flow-nya adalah cek fitur bendera terlebih dulu, and then after that we continue to check the AI writing and the semiotic. In the AI writing, we also have resources. I recommend you to check on this if it's applicable. You can adopt it into your learning process. You can download it or you can adopt it into your institution. Di sini ada professional learning resources juga, ada educator resources as well. Discussion started for tough conversation about AI, bla bla bla, macam-macam. Understanding the next version of Training Feedback Studio, macam-macam. Juga termasuk instructional resources dan tentunya student resources. Misalnya AI conversation handling false positive for students. ethical AI use checklist for students juga ada di sini. Macam-macam ya, Bapak Ibu. Bisa lihat di sini ya. Itu kalau guides. Dan satu lagi ada FAQ. Kalau guides, Bapak Ibu tentu tahu ya, di sini panduannya. Kalau Bapak Ibu ingin lihat ya, file requirement, macam-macam ya. Qualifying text, macam-macam ada di sini semua ya. Kalau yang FAQ, ini is the list a lot of question ya, frequently asked question. Sebagai contoh di sini, how does it work? Sebagai contoh ya. So, Turnitin itu dia akan bagi ya, jadi beberapa kalimat itu dibagi dalam segmen, dipotong-potong menjadi 5-10 kalimat, lalu masing-masing kalimat akan di-analyze ya, berulang-ulang ya, berkali-kali. Lalu kalau saya lihat, oh ini human written nih, oke, dikasih 0 score. Oh ini Gen AI written dikasih 1, lalu diakumulasikan skornya. Jadi seperti itu ya. Dan juga ada banyak penjelasan di sini. Kalau Bapak Ibu penasaran bisa dirujuk ya nanti ya, seperti itu. Ada banyak banget. AI ini sudah aman private, lalu kita baru cek ke Similarity. Saya mau tunjukin di sini Bapak Ibu, kalau seandainya student itu tentunya kita berharap they produce their own original paragraph seperti ini. Di sini this is my own original paragraph, so apologies jika ini jelek ya, karena ini yang penting original aja dari kepala saya. Saya tulis dari kepala saya, pastinya banyak yang enggak ini ya sini ya. So original writing can be detected as similarity as well based on our previous explanation. Misalnya ada common phrases di sini. Ada istilah-istilah umum, istilah-istilah dalam suatu bidang keilmuan. Bisa saja dia akan di spot ya sebagai similarity, di highlight ya sebagai similarity. Paraphrase, so ini sesuatu teknik yang tentunya diajarkan oleh dosen kepada mahasiswa. David, kamu terlalu banyak ini. Student issue, kamu terlalu banyak nih. Kutip langsung. Ini paragraf ini bisa kamu paraphrase. Oh, kalau ini kamu nggak bisa parafrase, ini pasal-pasal, ini undang-undang, ini rumus. Kalau parafrase rusak rumusnya, nggak bisa. Oh, kalau ini bisa. Contohnya ini kamu ambil dari pendapatnya Watson tahun 2003, artikelnya. So, ini saya parafrase di sini ya. Jadi kalau seandainya di paraphrase pakai AI, nah dia akan kedetek yang berwarna tadi ya, ungu tadi. Oke, missing citation, Bapak Ibu lihat ya, dia akan ditandai missing quotation akan ditandai, walau di sini kalaupun dia sudah ada citasi dan ada tanda kutip juga akan ditandai sebagai similarity. Maka kalau ada instruktur yang langsung exclude saja, pergi ke filter exclude quoted text, bisa saja dia miss hal-hal seperti ini ya. Nggak ada missing citation-nya, seperti itu. Dan tentunya Bapak Ibu juga akan ketemu dengan banyak template statement ya, template atau common facts ya, seperti ini. The use of qualitative case studies is well established ya. Several method currently exist atau dalam bahasa Indonesia apa ya? Oh, penelitian ini menggunakan metode kualitatif dengan studi kasus. Atau mungkin skripsi ini diajukan sebagai salah satu syarat untuk memperoleh gelar sarjana bla bla. Tulisan-tulisan seperti itu akan di-highlight, sering sekali di-highlight sebagai similarity, dan tentunya kita sebagai pemeriksa tahu, ini sesuatu yang saya bisa simply exclude saja. Nah, kita klik misalnya seperti ini, lalu akan ada muncul menu di atasnya, exclude this text. So, we can simply just exclude this text block. It depend on your judgment and depends on your expectation, of course depends on your policy ya, seperti itu. Saya lanjutkan lagi. Ini ada juga, wah ini plagiat nih. Kalau kita lihat di sini source-nya, kita klik source-nya, Bapak Ibu bisa lihat, ini memang diambil dari LaChapelle ya, Vintage Biker website. Nah, ini mix yang tadi. Nah, lalu kita yang terakhir tentunya cek daftar pustaka. Kalau sudah oke semuanya, karena daftar pustaka pasti akan merujuk pada link source-nya, sudah sesuai, oke, aman. Kalau nggak sesuai kita. Dan contohnya, I want to provide a feedback for this particular student. Missing citation. Nah, di sini Bapak Ibu bisa pakai, saya pilihkan sini, feedback. Sebentar. Di sini ada quick mark ya. Sebentar. Quick mark. Bapak Ibu bisa pilih quick mark macam-macam di sini ya. Saya pilih quick mark yang academic integrity. Jadi di sini contohnya ini missing citation. Add citation to quotation. Saya tarik ke sini. Lalu akan seperti situ ya. Saya akan gedein sedikit ya. Nah, sini ya. Atau Bapak Ibu just simply click, right click, and then click quick mark ya, button here. Bapak bisa pilih ya. So, misalnya add citation, quotation. Bisa juga. Nah, misalnya ini missing quotation. Oke, Bapak Ibu bisa kasih di sini quick mark, misalnya add quotation. Oke. Atau bisa saja paraphrase or quote. Ini kamu sebenarnya bisa paraphrase loh. Nah, paraphrase, lalu nanti kasih ininya ya, citasinya. Oke. Oke, di sini this is how we put the quick mark. And then can we link the quick mark into our rubrics? Let's say di sini kita punya rubrik ya. Tadi saya bikin rubrik sendiri juga, David Gadding sini. Saya mau link ini dengan rubrik saya, David. Oke, kita klik the three dots in here. Then we link the rubric. Pada bagian mana? Ini pada bagian formatting and citation. Oke, so nanti begitu kita lihat rubriks nanti akan kelihatan ya. Oke, I want to put the text comment, Pak David. Oke, bisa di sini ya. Bisa ya, di sini kita berikan bubble comment ya, seperti itu. Atau simple text saja, mana si quotation mark. Quotation mark. Misalnya seperti itu. Jadi kita bisa pindah-pindahkan. So, ini adalah ini. Kalau Bapak Ibu merasa ini ada sesuatu yang membantu Bapak Ibu, kami lebih prefer pakai yang speed creator pada fitur yang ada atau apa silakan. Tapi kalau Bapak Ibu nyaman dengan ini, silakan digunakan ini fitur kita ya. Oke, lalu kita ke rubrik di sini. Misalnya Bapak Ibu apply rubrik di sini ya, misalnya thesis and argument, misalnya ini ada berapa? 1, 2, 3, 4. Misalnya ini 20. Ya, ini 10 misalnya. Ini 15 misalnya. Ini 25 misalnya. Lalu kita mau apply to grade bisa, nanti automatically nanti grade-nya akan naik ke atas sini ya. Nanti kita bisa apply to grade seperti itu. So that's rubric. So, lalu di sini untuk feedback ada 2 tab, quick marks lalu summary. Summary Bapak Ibu bisa tik ya, apapun feedback yang rujuk, please check this reference, check these sources to learn more about how to do citation, bla bla bla. Dan kalau seandainya kita ada komen yang mau kita pin, nah saya mau tunjuk di sini. Oke, saya mau pin ini, pin, maka nanti dia akan muncul di sini. Jadi kita ada pin feedback, kita bisa gunakan di study use seperti itu. So that's how we provide that feedback in Trading Feedback Studio in this Disseminator report, or to set it or to link with the rubrics, or just to provide a summary feedback. Unfortunately, we don't provide with the videos yet because it's still on the process to provide an audio and video feedback because we don't have time Pak David untuk nanti ketika gini. Saya mau kasih feedbacknya bentuk audio video supaya bisa ditonton oleh student. Oke, itu akan agak menunggu ya. Seingat saya sih kayaknya di akhir tahun ini deh. Mudah-mudahan ya seperti itu. Kalau selesai kita save. Lalu studennya bisa kirim ya, bisa cek feedbacknya, lalu dia nanti akan revise, lalu dia submit lagi. Oke, katakanlah kita, di sini sudah oke, semuanya sudah direvisi oleh studennya. Saya mau mati deh. Sudah direvisi oleh studennya, lalu kita mau exclude ya similarity. Contohnya di sini katakanlah saya mau exclude yang quoted text. Sudah direvisi, kutipan langsungnya sudah dilengkapi. It's already being included with the citation, all of them. Apply filters. Oke, apply filters. Lalu kita bisa lihat the similarity went down from 26% to 20% because all of the quoted material here is being excluded. Ya, sudah dikecualikan karena semua kutipan langsung sini, walaupun di sini ada yang enggak ini, dikecualikan. I already checked all of the references. It's all good. It seems good. It meets our requirement, my expectation as well. And then you as an instructor can exclude bibliography. Check this. Most of the time, institution or instructor, they exclude bibliographies and also quoted text after they check it, after they finalize that. So we can see the similarity score went down again from 20% to 16%. So let's say, David, this is common template, so I want to exclude it because this is something so it's always happened to this particular assignment. Exclude this text. Just simply click exclude this text. This is also, and then we just simply click exclude this text, and then we can see below the score, we can see the notification to exclusion. We can go there, can ensure, tadi itu salah klik. Oke, kita bisa include lagi. I can include it again. Alright, so that's it. David, I want to download the Similarity. Okay, just go to the upper right corner. You can see download there button, and then if you simply click Similarity report, it will download it for you for the Similarity report. If you want the AI generating report, so it'll be download the separate, it provides separate report for you, or you can download separate grading and feedback report as well, or the original file. Let's say that you spot something suspicious because the article is being uploaded by your students. Saya mau lihat deh original filenya seperti apa nih. Nah, Bapak Ibu bisa download lalu bisa cek ya. Gitu. Saya download juga AI writing reportnya. Kita lihat dulu yang ini ya, seperti report ini. Oke, kita agak kelewat dikit ya, Bapak Ibu. Okay, this is the symmetry report. You can see the name of the students, the title, also the assignment name, the course name, details dan semua segala macam. Lalu kita bisa overall similarity, the last overall similarity after we do some filters, exclude the bibliography, quoted text, and exclusion for text block, 2 text block in here. Dan detail yang lain-lain juga. Lalu kita bisa lihat juga ada match groupnya juga ya di sini. Top sourcesnya dari mana, sumbernya paling banyak dari mana. Bisa lihat, ini mahasiswa saya nggak baca jurnal nih. Rata-rata dari internet semua ini, ngambil dari website ya, seperti itu. So you can spot something like that. And in the last one, you can see the article itself with the highlight similarities. Ya, dengan the matches ya, seperti itu. Kita lihat yang kalau AI writing reportnya, ini akan a bit different. Oke, ini yang everything reportnya. Nah, di sini ada caution review ya, caution review required. Di sini juga ada ditampilkan sedikit frequently asked question if you want to check the whole FAQ. So you just simply click the FAQ button in the report, the report. You can see this is the score, and based on your definition, based on your expectation, is it meet your requirement or expectation or not? So it depends on you. So also in the AI rating report, we'll provide with the highlights AI rating detection, everything AI generated text as well. Okay, that's it. That's for the interpret this symmetry report. Okay, let's go back to this to wrapping up the training before we go to Q&A. So workflow, to recap the workflow. So first check the integrity flag, check the document flag. If there's something suspicious, you stop it, and then just check your institution policy or regulation. And if it's okay, it meets your requirement, and then you can go to the next tab, the AI score tab. Does it meet your expectation or not? If yes, and then you can continue, check similarity matches, and apply grading and feedback, whether with your Canvas grading and feedback or rubric or in Training Feedback Studio, where appropriate. If you have concern, and is this a skill-based issue or the academic integrity? Oh, skill-based is easy, David. I just call my student. David, come to my office. Tapi kalau masalahnya integritas akademik, who else at your institution can you speak about it? Saya kali ini tugas akhir, tesis, skripsi. Kalau masalah seperti ini kami akan berikan kepada tim investigator ya, ataupun komisi integritas akademik, misalnya komite integritas akademik untuk investigasi. Seperti itu ya. Oke, then the last one ini adalah help and support. Bapak Ibu bisa pergi ke guides.2019.com. So saya akan type aja guides.2019.com di sini. So you can go to how academic integrity tool ini untuk how to understanding symmetry report sama. Tapi kalau kita training in LMS, kita klik di sini. Lalu Bapak Ibu pergi bukan ke sini ya. Ini untuk Canvas CPF dulu ya. Kita ke LTI, kita view all LTI general articles. Nah di sini kita pakai LTI 1.3. Lalu kita lihat ini untuk administrator, ini untuk kita instructor ya, instructor guidance. Lalu kita bisa lihat ya di sini ya, instructor quick start guide untuk LTI, misalnya create assignment bagaimana. Ini sama ya dengan apa yang tadi kita tunjukin ya, sama seperti itu. Oke, lalu saya mau balik lagi ke sini ke di bagian depan Bapak Ibu juga bisa lihat ada sistem status. So you think, ini kok hasil simulatornya nggak nongol-nongol ya? Semua student saya bilang nggak keluar nih simulator reportnya. Di account instructor juga nggak keluar. So you need to check if there are any ada masalah server down atau tidak, bisa cek di sini ya. Tapi I recommend you to subscribe to updates. Ya, just simply put your email address and subscribe via email, or just simply follow akun X-nya Tunedin ya, seperti itu. Jadi nggak perlu back and forth ke sini ya, cek-cek sendiri, tinggal tunggu email aja atau lihat di Twitter ya atau X ya, X-nya Tunedin ya, seperti itu. Nanti kalau ada di sini akan muncul ya, ada insidennya. Tapi sejauh ini udah lama nggak ada. Mudah-mudahan nggak ada terus ya. Ini ada schedule maintenance ya, jadwal maintenance nanti tanggal 25 Oktober. Alright, kita kembali lagi sini. So if you can find any answer from guides.tintin.com, contact your institution administrator, Bu Fioni. Nanti kalau seandainya masalahnya technical problem, so Bu Fioni will raise a ticket to technical support ya, pada teman-teman support. Tapi kalau Bapak Ibu ada pertanyaan, if you have any question regarding scenarios or anything that's something not clear in the guidance, so just simply drop us an email to sia-onboarding@tintin.com. Oke, that's it. Kita agak kelewat waktunya. Mohon maaf, Bapak Ibu. So, how did it go? What do you think about the training? Ini ada QR code. Saya juga kasih di kolom chat. So, bagi Bapak Ibu di sini yang mau pakai handphone untuk kasih feedback, bisa scan QR code di sini atau just simply klik di link in di chat box. Pastikan pilih nama saya, David ya. Ada Cynthia base-nya di Kuala Lumpur. Kami biasanya saling backup ya untuk di kawasan ASEAN untuk training-trainingnya seperti itu. Tentunya ini feedback penting buat kami ya, dan sekaligus nanti my manager bisa lihat David ini nggak benar nih trainingnya, jadi saya bisa dapat feedback juga dari atasan saya. So terima kasih buat Bapak Ibu yang meluangkan waktu untuk mengisi ini sekitar 2-3 menit ya. Makasih banget. Much appreciated. Dan sambil Bapak Ibu isi, ada pertanyaan, any question Bapak Ibu regarding our training? Cukup panjang ya training kita, mohon maaf ya, agak lewat waktu Bapak Ibu. Ada pertanyaan Bapak Ibu? Saya nyalain video deh. Bu Fioni, Pak Guru, kira-kira ada titipan pertanyaan misalnya, oh ada dosen tadi yang harus ngajar pada Fit, jadi ada yang nanya kayak gitu, ini tip pertanyaan seperti itu.
Ya, ada pertanyaan dari Pak Panji, Pak,
Oh,
di
Pak David,
chat
oke.
box. Ya.
Pak Panji, Pak David, do you have any ideas to detect similarity in terms of source code or any idea of detect the source code from source code ini coding ya Pak? Pak Panji? Oh oke. Kalau source code, kalau untuk coding, Trinitin punya produk yang lain. Kalau SU tertarik bisa kontak Mas Yalka. Kemarin Pak Guru juga nanya student writing ya untuk clarity ya. Jadi student writing, jadi kita ada student writing, juga ada produk baru. Kalau untuk source code ini itu pakainya Gradescope nama produknya Pak Panji. Sayangnya di sini di Turnitin Feedback Studio nggak ada. Jadi beberapa some of institution they subscribe with different products from Turnitin based on different purposes. Jadi kalau seandainya untuk yang coding HTML selama seperti itu pakainya Gradescope produknya Pak Panji. Gitu Pak. Di sini nggak bisa Pak. Baik. Oke. You're welcome Pak. No worries. Ada pertanyaan lain Bapak Ibu? Oke. Ada pertanyaan lain? Kayaknya nggak ada ya, karena Bapak Ibu semuanya experience user, sudah pernah pakai, jadi ini hanya repetition ya, pengulangannya. Paling ada sedikit update saja, nggak banyak seperti itu. Dari Bu
Betul,
Fioni
Pak.
nggak ada, Pak Guru?
We will have the photo group session,
Oh
Pak.
oke,
Is
photo
that
group
okay?
session. Oke,
Okay.
saya stop sharing, sorry.
Okay.
Right.
So first, thank you, Pak David, for the informative session, and thank you
Yep,
everyone
no
for your
worries.
participation and great question during the Q&A. Before we end, let's take a quick group photo. Please turn on your camera for a moment. Mas Andre will lead the group photo. Please, Mas Andre.
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Fiani. So, Bapak Ibu, you can turn on your camera before we take a photo together.
Alright. Wah, ini baru kelihatan. Tadi saya pikir saya ngomong sendirian. Oke.
I will count it. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Next slide. Keep smile. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's done. Yeah. Back to
Oke,
Mbak Feoni.
makasih Pak Andre.
Thank you.
Oke.
Please don't forget to fill out the evaluation form shared in the chat box from the Turnitin and from the librarian CTL. You will get your certificate directly to your email once you send the response. Once again, thank you all for joining today's session. Have a great day and see you in the next training. Thank you so much, Pak David and
Terima
Pak
kasih. Thank you so much Bu
Ian.
Feoni.
Makasih,
Makasih Bapak
Pak.
Ibu.